Hello everyone and welcome back to Gnomoria, the Scarred Land. Now when we left off last, we were hoping that we would get some buildings kind of going. Now it looks like we've got this one done, and he's working on this one now. Fantastic. The more people we have to do the little crafting jobs, the quicker this stuff will get done. Now, I didn't really want you doing that one first. I wanted you to do the other one first. But since I need them both anyway to do the same thing, to craft the same item, I should say, the stone cutter, I believe, turns the he gave up, got hungry halfway through, abandoned the job, and then someone went and was listening to me, and he's like, you know what, I'll go build the building you wanted me to build. So this building that he's building now, the one that's highlighted green, he's gonna turn raw stone into blocks. And then the one behind it turns blocks into things that I need, like saw blades for my sawmill. And he gave up too. Alright, Cloud, you can finish it. There we go. Now, we will just do craft repeat for now. And I do not have a stockpile for blocks, so they will keep 20 in here, and then they'll go do other stuff. And you can see he's jumping on there right away. And I will need at least one to get the sawmill going. So we'll just kind of let them do their thing for now. Make sure that there's nobody idle. And we've got some more wall to dig out. I'm just going to check to see if there's any more caves. No, no more caves. There we go. Leave a little bit more space. And then we're going to start adding our food stockpile. Go. All drinks. And this is all food, including fruit. This will be our main food stockpile now. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze. Okay, we're back. Didn't get too much done, just a little bit of digging. Alright, this is set to 1, so this will fill up first. And then they will put the overflow excess into the stockpile in this room, which is a little bit further from where they're going to be eating, but it's going to be closer to where the kitchen will be. There's still a lot of things laying around. We've still got plenty of wheat straw to keep our animals happy. Let's go ahead and expand on our wheat farm now. I should have done that about a day ago, but at least I got it planted as quickly as I could. We have 0 meals. That's not really a big deal. That just means we've run out of the food that we started the game with. So we've got strawberries, apples, oranges, and the like. And as soon as we get these buildings done, I'm going to build the training dummy. Well, I'm not even going to build that myself. I'm just going to build the training ground and let them craft it. I prefer to do it that way. So we go workshop, military, training grounds. Any 2 training dummies. Now, a majority of the things that are going to have me leaving my city right now are all over here. We've got all this fruit, all this stuff that I want. Oh, all these fruit trees down here too. So I'm going to put my training grounds right here. And once that's built, I'll feel comfortable having an opening here while they're training. If anyone tries to walk in, they're going to quit training, cut his head off, and then go right back to training. And that, of course, will take quite a while to get done. Cancel these jobs, because these jobs are to haul the saplings, and I do not have any room designated for those. Let's see how they're doing. Got lots of mining to be done still. Lots of hauling that needs to get done, so we're going to turn the rest of that mining off till they get all that hauled. Okay. So there's a lot to be done still. A lot of hauling to be done. This food is taking precedence over... I'm going to lower this to 2, because the food is taking precedence over the dirt, and I don't really want that to happen. At least not until we get a wheelbarrow and it's moved around a lot faster. There we go. Now that we've got this food here, we can set up crate. Our last crate. Oh, something worth mentioning. If you use the right-click menu to build something like crates, you can actually drag and place like hundreds of them at the same time. Whereas if you use the one on the bottom, you can only build them one at a time. If you try to drag it and click, it'll just move the screen around. So let me cancel that because I don't want that right there in the middle there. And then we're going to, again, I'm going to show you with the barrels. I have 4, I can only place 1 per click. But if I use the right build menu, the right click build menu, and I click barrel, it automatically will build multiple of them. Now the only thing I need barrels for right now, Cloud falls asleep on the floor, oh no! The only thing I need barrels for right now are drinks. So they can all go there. Actually, I just now remembered I need 2 for my distillery, which will make improved drinks. Right now we still have 99 drinks, our yaks are producing milk. We're doing pretty good on drinks. If we start to get low, you can go ahead and build a workshop. Or under the workshop, under food and drink, you can build a well. And now that of course has to be built over water. So you just place it down like that when we zoom in so you can get a better look at it. There's the well. And now what I like to do, because Cellfire has fallen asleep on the floor. We need beds. What I like to do, because they like to stop training, run over and grab a drink, and then sometimes they'll continue training right there over where they just were, which will lead them to fall into the water and then drown. And we do not want anybody to drown. So we're gonna go and make this well safer by building this here. Oops, well, let's zoom back out. Now my builders will get to that eventually. Check on progress down here. Ah, fantastic. This is being built, which means soon... I fell asleep at my workstation. That's dedicated right there. Alright, now this is done being built, so the saw blade here, 5 down from the left, should come automatically into queue here once somebody decides that this is ready to be built. So you see it's missing a chair and a saw blade. So once we have the chair, they'll definitely prioritize building the saw blade in here, because I do have generated jobs accepted. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to get rid of all of these, and then we're going to go with just basic workshops. Of course, everybody's sleeping right now. You can tell because there's a bunch of people sleeping on the floor. Our builders are getting this done. Great. I don't like that they prioritized the dirt floor over building the well, especially because we have the materials. Oh, well, we did have them when I placed it, but we don't anymore. Okay. It started raining. Now, rain will refill your outside pools, and if you dig a tunnel all the way down, let's say you dug out like a 6x6 tunnel all the way down through the earth, when rain lands on magma, it will turn into obsidian, and that's pretty much the only way to get obsidian is to hit lava with rock. And you can see the pool here is starting to overflow, partly because of the rain, partly because I'm building over it, I think. I'm probably displacing the water as they're building. Alright, autosave. That pauses the game for you. You can turn the autosave feature off. You can make it save even more. Under gameplay, save every 2 days. You can tell the game to pause when enemies are spotted. Pause to show arriving nomads. Pause to show arriving merchants. which I'm going to leave all of that on because I hate to miss a merchant because I was too busy talking or just not paying attention generally, and then I don't get the merchant, and then I am not happy. Right. What else do you need? Still need the chair. What is everybody doing? Sleeping, sleeping, sleeping. Building. Okay, now they're crafting. I was gonna say I have people who are prioritized to craft before they do anything else, and they were probably all asleep. Excuse me. Hopefully this will be done soon. I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up a little bit. I'd like to get the sawmill done so I can deconstruct all of these. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 planks. Let's raise the priority on that. Just 1. I want to see these guys get to building this chair. Speed it up a little bit more. There we go. Thank you. You're building the chair, so now this woodcutter or the sawmill will be built right away. And as soon as the sawmill is being built, I'll deconstruct all of these other buildings. So we got food being stockpiled still. We've still got plenty of lumber and stuff laying around up top. Still have a good amount of food. Our training grounds are finally finished. So we are going to, between 14 and 22, Squad 1 will go train. And as soon as 1400 runs around, they should drop whatever they're doing, even if they're in the middle of something, I believe. Yep, he just dropped what he's doing and he's running over to the training grounds. Now, if Cellfire is asleep, he will just stand there, and that is the case. So what we're going to do for today is actually turn this off. Because he'll just stand there doing nothing, not getting any experience, doing anything at all, just wasting time. Now if Cellfire wakes up, we can get them to training. Now it's a little unfair. There are no weapons or armor equipped on Cellfire, so he's going to be sparring with somebody who has a very sharp sword with his bare fists and no armor. This does not seem like a good idea to me. Luckily, Cloud has very good control and he will not remove Cellfire's limbs. Right, this is finally done. So we go to Job, underneath Job, Deconstruct. Get rid of all 4 of those. Might take just a few minutes to actually do. There we go. They're starting to break them down. Now they're going to try to still work at them because it's a different person breaking the building down than someone who's working there. But once that's done, they'll all go to what they need to do. So what I want to do for right now is... yes, we're going to build a stone sword and a hammer. Let's make 2 hammers. Okay, and then we're going to tell him to just make planks forever. And we're going to raise his priority to 2. Again, there's no plank storage, so once he hits 20, he'll just stop making them. Right. Okay, now let's start making room for the kitchen. I'm gonna mine out this area here and I'll start placing my kitchen items. I have a distillery and I have a butcher shop that's going to need to be built, and then the kitchen to prepare the meals that are cooked. Now the butcher shop and the kitchen can wait. The butcher shop, well, that I'll probably get up pretty quickly. All I need is a knife for that. But the kitchen really isn't any use until I start getting an excess of either yaks or goblins attacking me, because you can actually cut up the goblins and eat their meat. It's not really considered cannibalism because they are of a different species. Although I don't know if I would really consider the goblins animals. Looks like our well is finally complete, so when I run out of regular drinks, or if a gnome is miles and miles away from regular drinks but right next to a well, they're going to go and drink here at the well. And it does have access to water. You can check that. The well has access to water. Even tells you who it was crafted by and the worth. 40 worth. Wow, that is pretty significant for one piece of block and one piece of wood. Okay. Everybody's awake. Let's get a couple hours of training in. Aha! The marble hammer and marble sword of death. Selfire is now equipped. You will no longer be fighting me with your fists and my sword. Fantastic. Now that will mean they'll both be getting sword and hammer experience, I believe. Now if you try to put more people to train with just the two, they'll kind of watch the two train and they'll get very, very little experience compared to what they're getting. But they're still getting some. And later on in the game, once you have robots to do all of the actual work like farming and mining and crafting, your people will basically just be soldiers, or at least I like to do it that way. I have about 50 soldiers, and then the rest are, you know, automatons doing all of the actual hard labor. And then every time an enemy shows up, my men are so happy because there's something to finally do, besides just swing their weapons at each other all day. Okay, we have no building projects, we have no mining projects. I want to replace all of the floors with dirt. Like these these dark patches are clay. I cannot build pastures, farms, or groves over the top of this clay, so I'm going to replace all the clay with dirt. And then as long as it's not winter, the dirt patches will regrow into grass as long as they have access to the sky, aka the sun. And they'll just come along and do these all. Like I said, there's a little patch of dirt there, but it'll turn into grass. As long as it's not winter, things will grow. So that takes care of all the clay inside the base. See, we have 10 planted seeds, 25 planted seeds. Got plenty of room there and there. They haven't even started on the cotton yet. I might not have any cotton seeds. No, I do. Plenty of cotton seeds. The priority is just low. They're focusing on other things first. That's fine. Got plenty of cotton laying around. It's not really a huge priority. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze again. Oh, so sorry about that. Alright, press play again. Let me just do a quick double check. Those items were made very quickly. So let's go ahead and start self-crafting some of the things I know I'm going to need, like a hearth, a mold, a furnace, trough. Make another knife. I need one for the kitchen and one for the bone carver, I believe. The bone carver we will need for reasons. We'll need a needle, a bone needle to make a tailor shop, and we won't be able to make that until we have an excess yak to kill, or until we get attacked by goblins. I think you can make needles from goblin bones too. I could be wrong. The goblins might not drop bones at all. I might be completely crazy. It's been a little while since I've played this game without mods. There are some pretty fantastic mods for this game. Some people might consider this game incomplete, but if you try out these mods, you would definitely not consider that. You know, the mods maybe add... If you've ever played Factorio, Bob's mods, it's basically like that. It doubles or triples even the gameplay value, adding all kinds of little branch recipes you need to make. Like, for example, right now if I wanted to make bread, all I have to do is just take the flour and make bread. Or take the wheat and just make bread. But with the mods for this game, you would have to first ground the wheat into flour, and then you turn the flour into dough, and then you bake the bread, and then you can prepare the bread. You know, it adds multiple multiple stops in between all the recipes that you're normally used to just throwing together. To me, that adds a lot more content, a lot more value to the game. It does make it a little bit more difficult when you're still trying to make bread and goblins show up with double-handed swords to lob off your head. It makes it a little bit more challenging. Sometimes, you know, the gameplay ends a little sooner than you want to, because, you know, your entire colony gets wiped out by the second wave of goblins because the game misinterpreted your worth and you're fighting steel-plated goblins on your second wave. But that makes it more fun, I think. So it looks like we are pretty good to go now. We can start building our distillery. We're going to need to build another table because I've canceled the other order, so I don't really care what table they build for now. Most of these buildings that I'm crafting now and things that I'm placing, everything's going to be moved. We just don't have the time and resources and the gnomes to be going around and building all kinds of fancy, swanky flooring right now. And we also don't have the means to defend ourselves from those who wish to take the nice, swanky things from us. Once we have more armor, once we start picking up some metal, start crafting some bone armor, just some basic defense weapons and less chances of us being flayed, then we'll be able to start worrying about making the place look really nice and increasing our wealth so that we'll have more gnomes appear and stronger enemies to fight. And speaking of enemies, I have still yet to see anything on my map. Maybe I just missed it. It's possible I missed it. Normally you would have seen a bear or a badger or something by now. I see nothing. Alright. Well, I believe that's going to have to do it for this time. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you next time.